This is Wayne with Tri-County Locksmith Service, and this is the Schlage touchpad keyless entry deadbolt. And this is the newest and latest and greatest for this year, and these are all the pieces and parts that you're going to have that come with it. These little tiny screws, the deadbolt latch, this is the back plate, this is going to be the inside of the lock, and this is going to be the outside. And as always, your backup manual key. I'm going to give a brief installation on this lock. I'm going to install it on my presentation board here. So this is just kind of a door thickness, and it's already cut out just for time's sake. The first thing you want to do is get your dead latch and determine your back spacing. This is the smaller back spacing, so we'll leave it where it's at. If you need the larger back spacing, it simply twists to 2 3/4 right there. It's listed. We don't need that, so we're going to switch it back. It will say top right there. Go ahead and install that on the top. Pull the plastic off. Like so. Install a screw. Like so. And that will be inserted just like that. Then you will have your wire on this side. Determine the outside. This is going to be the outside. Make sure that your tailpiece is rolled all the way towards the inside when you install it. And pop that in like that. So that's what it's going to look like on this side. You can install a back plate like so. Use your large threaded screws. Just to get things started. Screw these in tight. Making sure that your wire is not pinched in any way. Always adjust each side a little bit at a time so you don't get any binding, and then check for free movement of the dead latch. This is really important on these electronic locks, as they have to be very, very smooth operation. Otherwise they'll break very, very quickly. As long as they're installed properly and run smoothly, they'll work for a long time. But that's the key issue, is always checking and making sure that it goes freely. And then have our back piece here. Batteries are not included in this lock, so be aware of that when you buy it. Batteries are going to go right in here. This is going to pop open. 4 AA batteries. Pop in just like that. into the housing. Make sure, always double check that your connections are connected and that you're not pinching any wires every time you install something different. And then install the prongs here into the prongs in here. There will be a little tiny indent indicating where it will line up, right here. That little tiny mark right there. And then that will line up with that tiny little slot right there. Always write down the code on the back of the lock right here to make sure that you have your code before you put it all together. And you're going to line up this piece with the tail piece of the lock. Insert, just like so. Make sure you're not pinching any wires in the back of the lock. The wire needs to run down this little thing right here. It's made for that specifically. When it fits flush, you can then install the long screw. Goes in this hole here, just like so. Begin to make sure your lock is centered properly on both sides, like so. Tighten. They're very, very teeny little screws here. One goes on the inside, like that. And then your cover plate will go on. And your other tiny screw will go right here. Now, test the thumb turn, make sure everything's working well. Remove the plastic. Test that the key is working well. When you're installing this into your door, you need to make sure that everything is moving very fluidly in the actual position. The door needs to shut like it would naturally, and this needs to work just as smooth as it does open. So that's the #1 key, is these have to work absolutely smooth. This bolt is tapered a little bit to help guide it in there, but it still is absolutely, absolutely crucial that it works fluid and smooth. So pop the key out, operating instructions, Schlage button, try your code that you wrote down. It's going to hand itself now, the very first time it's handing. And then when you leave the house, you push the Schlage button and it locks. When you come back to the house, you enter your code and it lets you in, just like that. From the inside, you can lock the door like so and unlock with no problems. And from the outside, you simply enter any of your user codes and it lets you right in. Schlage button 1493. Now this is the basic installation right here. There is extra fancy stuff that you can control this lock with your cell phone if you sign up for the Nexia plan. This allows you to remotely control this through your cell phone. It allows you to see who's coming and going. You can get text messages when people come and go. You can get text messages when kids come home. All of that stuff can happen right here with this. But that will be another video on how to set all that up. So there it is, Schlage Deadbolt installed.